Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to another episode of Uncle Mo's Garage. Today we're going to get ready to pull out the cylinder head out of this Mark 5 R32. So another thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to have to pick up a cam locking tool. I got this from ECS Tuning. I think I paid $40 for it shipped, but I wanted to get it a little sooner. I think they run for about 29 bucks. But you're going to need this. This is going to get locked here in the cams to keep them from moving on you when you're going to set your timing or even, take them apart and stuff. So I would recommend getting one of these. You're going to have to if you want to do it on this motor. If you don't, I don't think you're going to be able to do it. I mean, for the most part, this is what you want. I could set a link in the description, which I probably will. But they were running low on stock, but I think you can find other manufacturers that have them. But you're definitely going to need one of these. All right, so the next step we're going to do is I didn't drain out the oil out of the engine yet. So we're going to do that next. Want to make sure everything's out of here, especially if we're going to be dropping all these timing chain covers over here in the lower part of the pan. There's going to be, it's part of the oil pan, so a bunch of oil is going to leak out. So we just want to drain everything out. After we got it all drained out, we should be ready to set the timing, and I'm gonna pop the valve cover. Next step we're going to do is we have to raise these two sets of cam lobes to point towards each other, towards the center of cylinder one. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to turn the crank clockwise, and then I'm going to show you a mark down on the bottom of the crank where you're going to want to get that set. But just want to get these close and then just watch that bottom mark. Timing mark. Get a better light. All right, see that little notch? There's a notch also on the crank pulley, right there. So you can kind of see it right there. It's pretty much lined up, but I think we're gonna try to get the cams lined up first, and then we're gonna hold them there, and then we should be able to undo the timing chain. Okay, so now that we got our timing set up, we got this tool should just fit right between these two cam lobes right here. See the little notches? They should be equally spaced. That way, if you're not quite there, you're gonna take a 32 millimeter spanner wrench right here. Just gonna kind of adjust them back and forth just till you gotta fit there equally spaced. And like I said, on the bottom of the crankshaft down here, we got that one notch in the the crank pulley. We gotta make sure those are on the marks, and make sure these two cam lobes here are facing towards the inside. Now, the other thing is we're looking for, there's a 24E right here. You can kind of see it right there with the little arrow on it. See that? And you got this 32A. There's another mark right here. Kind of see it right there. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. But basically what we're looking for is we're looking for 16 chain link lobes. All right, it's these things right here. So basically we start from, not from the little arrow here. We're going to start on the next one. So we'll have one. It'll be one right here. And get a little more on with it. There you go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, just before that next little arrow. So it'll be right here. So now the thing is, you could see how much slop is in this chain right here. This is a very bad sign. So that shows that either the guides, these plastic guides here, are all worn out underneath, or maybe this tensioner bolt is going bad. It's not holding enough tension on the another guide that's back here, which we're going to see in a few minutes as soon as I break this loose. So the next step is going to be to break this loose, this tensioner bolt here. And after we did that, we're going to undo all of these little, you'll see right here, these little square drives right here. I got 1, what is it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 square drives. And it just looks like this little thing right here. So if you see this, it's got all these 12 points on there. So you're gonna need that. So first we're gonna break that loose, and then we'll gonna take off this cam cover here. And then we're gonna end up pulling this out. And then we're gonna loosen up the cam lobe adjusters. And once we got those loose and taken completely off, we're gonna end up just releasing the tension on the chain. And then we'll break all of these head bolt, these square drives that are up here now. As soon as we, you know, there's a sequence that we have to do, and I'll show you when I start breaking them down. I'll try to put maybe even like an image from the shop manual to kind of show you what's the sequence on them. And then that way you kind of have an idea of how you're supposed to open them, loosen them, you know, and take them off, and then put them back on as soon as we replace that head gasket, which is the thing that we're trying to do right now. This tensioner bolt is going to be replaced, so we don't have to really worry about it. What you want to do here is you want to remove all these bolts that are holding the cover plate, and then just carefully pry it off. Watch out for those sensors. And what you want to do here, you want to replace this gasket right here and these 2 seals. Next thing we're going to do is open up the cam lobe adjusters. You want to remove the plate, make sure it's not in there when you break these loose. Hold it with a 32mm spanner wrench and just carefully break them. They are going to be pretty tough, so just make sure you use, you know, the spanner to hold them from moving, and then do them one by one. Now we're going to do the exhaust one. Just do the same thing like you did with the intake. Hold it there. Just break them loose slowly. Just you're not going to want to take off these cam lobe adjusters just yet. Stick in your plate. Set back your centers. Make sure that you're good on your timing. And then you can slowly start removing the cam adjusters. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna undo the head bolts now. I'm gonna show you just really quick. This is the sequence to loosen them. As long as you break them loose in this order, you should be pretty good. And then I'll show you later on what's the torque sequence for them. All right, so we're just gonna go around now. We're just gonna scrape off all this old gasket. You'll see all this crap is coming off.
want to get every single square inch of this deck.
Well, that's it for this episode. Keep watching. I got part 3 coming up. Like, subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.